Well, hello, boys and girls. Here we are again at When We Feel Like It O'Clock. I'm Pearl of Wisdom. We have SteelFlyers and Joe Borek again, the professor and the Steel Man. We're finishing off our series on our predictions for the second round of the playoffs. I'm falling off. I can't even remember now how they go. They've been going so fast. Watching it all day, I'm going a little loopy. I'm going hockey loopy. If you're going to go loopy, it's the way to go, though. So we're getting into the final one, and this one is something close to our hearts because we are all, as you can tell, as Joe's swag going on there, we are all Philly fans here. Philadelphia versus, there we go.
Man.
I don't have my fat swag on, and you'll probably get the reason why we are going into this. Let's go with it, man. This series is, I would like to say it's easier than it is, but I don't think it's easy. What do you think, Steel?
No, I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be easy at all. In fact, if we play the way we did against Montreal, we are not going to be playing any longer. You know what I mean? Look, I think Carter Hart has had his coming out party.
Yeah.
Right? The league now, the nation now knows who Carter Hart is, right? Because he just put it out there on display.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a different series because the Islanders have a bit of a different team. They play a bit of a different style where they kind of sag back more and trap a little bit more with Barry Trotz's system. You know what I mean? So, and although their defense is not quite is a little bit more suspect, but we need that speed up the middle. This is not going to be the same series. This potentially could go all the way, I think, or if we get hot, then we can go. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really interesting how this plays out. It's going to be really interesting how this plays out because it's a bit of a different matchup than what we were playing against the Canadians. And if we don't match these guys and have more intensity than these guys, we're going to be going home. It's going to be over quick.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, I mean, I almost could have said the exact same words, Steel. But Joe, what do you? Yeah, you have another angle on this. Joe's usually more the positive one. Professor Joe there. He's usually on the positive lean towards, assuming you're a Philly fan, of course.
I mean, like Yarif said on his video he did this morning before I did mine that just went out on Flyers Nitty Gritty, so check out all the good stuff over there. I talked about the fact that the Islanders team, it's a battle of wits between the coaching benches too, because you got Barry Trotz, you got AV, both guys like moving up the ice via their defense and don't care if your numbers aren't the sexiest. They just want you to play a good 200-foot game, and that's also probably why Beauvillier wasn't numbers ridiculous in the regular season, and then all of a sudden when Trotz let the leash loose and said, hey, give us let's go, all of a sudden you saw the offensive capabilities of Anthony there, who's outplaying Matthew Barzal right now in the playoffs. So I don't think any Islanders fan would have expected Anthony Beauvillier. Now, Barzal's playing great. It's just Beauvillier's playing even a notch above him so far. So that's how good he's playing. But you have to watch for those guys. But I think this series is going to be a battle of wits in the coaching benches, but it's also going to be a battle of goalies. And I would even have to give at this point of their careers, I like Yarif Varlamov and think he's been a solid goalie and sometimes just been put into a crap situation in some of his old teams when it came to their defense and stuff of that nature and how they played their defense. But I think this year he played a good overall season. He's playing his best hockey in a while since the comeback. But the thing with Varley I've seen his whole career is, unlike Quick back in the day, Price, Rene when he was before this season, like there's guys that are good at looking around people in front of the net and finding that minuscule lane to see the puck. Varlamov's not one of them.
Great point.
He's never been one of those goalies that's good at finding a small lane to see the puck if you can get more than one person in front of the net.
Yeah,
so the
exactly.
key to this series is the Flyers have to stop trying to be too cute and get more in front of the net and play similar to how they did in the regular season, because Varlamov is not the best goalie once you pressure him in front of the net. That's when he starts getting pissed off. That's when you saw the sticks against the post back in the day with him. You can really get to him by putting guys in front. I don't think you see the sticks to the post because he's more mature nowadays, but you're getting into his mentality a bit, and you start getting to him if you put the guys in front of the net. I think that's a huge key in this series, along with aggressive forechecking, and Albe Kubel has been skating, so he could potentially be active today.
I would definitely love to see him back.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, I think we all would like to see that, right? I think we would all like to see him in the lineup for sure. Oh my gosh, Joe, what awesome points, man! Because that's exactly how we had to beat Price, was get him moving from side to side. Okay, and if you get Varlamov moving from side to side and people standing in front of him, and if he's not willing to do that, look around to get those lanes, yep, that's exactly how it's going to be dirty but greasy, but hey, we'll take them. You know what I mean?
Varlamov is positionally is a fantastic goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. He's always in the right position all the time. But he seems like kind of his size. He doesn't really. He seems like his face is almost right in the shoulders of people, like he's saying. And if that definitely, he is susceptible to really good shot tippers and stuff like that, tipping and stuff like that. So James Van Riemsdyk, sir, when you go into the zone, I don't want to see you anywhere but in front of the net. Now, just go to the front of the net, stay in front of the net, and do that until you retire. No, not corner, in front of the net. That's it. Just go there. Don't have the speed to get in the corner and then go to the front of the net anymore. He's got to play in front of the net on the power play, period. And if he's not there, sit his ass. Sorry, said it. Had to say it. Had to be said. It's done.
But thank you. No, thank you. No, because that's a great point, because that's exactly what we have to do in order to beat the Islanders and Varlamov.
And that's exactly what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. The only other time,
that's like his biggest job.
The only other thing Toronto, when I watched them, would ever do with JVR, if they had, I can't remember who it was on the ice with him back then as a bigger forward, but it was, they would sometimes put him to shoot, because he used to have, I don't know how effective it is, he used to have it more effective. His one-timer has been solid. I haven't seen it in practice lately, though, so I would say keep him in front of the net. But with the Maple Leafs, they would sometimes, if they had another big guy, put him over here and have him shoot. But the problem with that is we've been getting too cute with passing, and I feel like that might draw us to do that even more. So that's why I would just put him in front of the net. You don't need to say, oh, now JVR's over there, so let's try to get it over to him. That's just going to make people overthink everything. So I would just say put him in front of the net. Knack is obviously a guy coming back that likes going in front of the net too. That's why that's big, because he enjoys doing that on the offensive end, not for being the biggest guy. But
that's why I said I'd like to see Knack in the top six.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of coaches will play guys like Knack in the top six, and maybe not so much on the power play, just because of the type of game they play. It's a little difficult to play those kind of minutes like that. But I'd like to see him on the top 6 5-on-5 for that very reason, because he just goes to the net, goes to the net, goes to the net.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah. And he also protector.
Yeah. I was just going to say, he also has the speed to go to the corners and win the battles in the corners too. You know what I mean? Because he is one of the best forecheckers that we have too. You know what I mean? So, and you know what? I would like to see those two guys, JVR and Knack, both in the lineup at the same time. I know that JVR is turning into a specialist right now, but okay, whatever. But I would like to see Knack on there too, because Knack gives you that other side of what JVR used to be, where he can be in front of the net, but then he can also go out and be the forecheck and has the speed to get to the corners and win the battles to the puck, like JVR used to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, from the Islanders' perspective, what do you think of the Islanders, how their lineup lines up to Philadelphia, what the biggest concerns are on both sides. What's going to be the hindrance for the Islanders? What's going to be the hindrance for the Philadelphia Flyers in this series, or the weakness that needs to be exposed on both sides, or that can be exposed? What's the Islanders' weakness, do you figure? Ron, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think the power play is going to be a huge factor in this. It's not like the Islanders are burning up the power play table either, but they're still doing better than we are. Okay, and so I think that's going to be a key, because as we know, as the series go on, the whistle tends to go away a little bit more. Okay, and those opportunities are going to be fewer and far between.
And Islanders don't give up too many power plays to begin with, so if you get one, you got to be right all over it.
Exactly, and we haven't been. We have not been able to put that nail in the coffin with the power play like we've shown that we can do during the regular season. Where the regular season, we've used the power play to kind of put the nail in the coffin and take teams out and win those games. And we have not done that for this whole entire time we've been back.
Yeah, I was going to say, believe it or not, when they put the team stats up on the Bubble Trouble video they did on the Flyers YouTube for the Islanders that they did for the Canadiens before last series, the Islanders' power play was at 17.3, and we were at 20.8. So they were actually worse than us.
Oh, worse than us. Okay, I'm sorry.
17.3%, which is hard to do with how the Flyers' power plays look since coming back. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was
the penalty was almost.
The Islanders haven't had a good power play for quite a while now. It's been something.
Yeah, my mistake. I was checking out my mistake. I was checking out the NHL website and their last 10 games, and it has team stats. 15.8% power play, 14th, and then it has Flyers at 10.3%, 22nd.
Okay, maybe this is from the regular season, because this is just the end of. They put the stats at the end of the Flyers TV video where the PKs are also. We win in face-offs, which the Flyers do against every team because of the top face-off team. But penalty kill is pretty even, too, with these two teams. 81.8 for the Flyers, 80.7 for the Islanders. So both of these teams, PKs, if you get the teams on the power play, are probably not teams you think the power plays of the other team will get going again.
But see, that's why I think that's going to be a huge factor.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. If Philadelphia can get their power play going, they've got a huge benefit here.
Could you imagine if just nobody scored in the like it's just all there's like 2 power play goals this entire series?
At least with Philadelphia,
At least with
Philadelphia, they've been known to have a good power play. At least with Philadelphia, Islanders haven't. So the odds of them doing well in the power play are slimmer. So if Philadelphia can get it going. Now, the Islanders don't give up too many power play chances. They play a system that doesn't allow for that too much. They're a very disciplined team. The weakness, I think, for the Islanders is, again, we talked about it before, is they have a defense that isn't really what you would call intimidating. So if we can get in there, if we can get in the corners and grind it out with that defense, before they can get the puck, getting quick, using speed on every line. I think I'm hoping that's the what's going to be happening with AV. He's going to see this and having a speed guy on every line. That's why I like having Knack up there to get into the corners. And he's not going to get too many. He didn't do bad points wise, but get a possession of the puck down there, and then allow our other
that's what killed us.
Forwards to be able to do their work.
Yeah, that's what killed us against Montreal. We were not able to win the battles to the puck, and we were dumping it in. We weren't skating the puck in. If we skate the puck in, we have so much better success. But especially we were dumping but just even on 5-on-5, we're dumping the puck in, and we were losing the battles to the puck because Montreal was beating us to the corners and beating us to the puck, and they were more aggressive on their side, and you know what I mean. So if we can't play like that, We need to be the ones that's being, like we talked about previously. We need to be the aggressive team. We need to be the one with the pedal on the metal. We need to be the one dictating play instead of being dictated to.
Yeah, I think the way we're going to do that is, I think somebody's going to fight early in this series. This is a rivalry reborn. I kind of said that. We haven't played the Islanders in 33 years in the playoffs. It hasn't been that big of a rivalry in my lifetime, let's be honest. Since 96, this rivalry hasn't been that big. The Islanders have been crap most of my life. And the Flyers have been off some of these years that the Islanders have been good. So it's never matched up, really.
Nope.
So until this year, where this is kind of a rivalry coming back to fruition fully, where this year it's taking precedent over the Rangers and Flyers for the first time in a long time, because the Rangers are gone. I mean, luckily for their fans, they have the first overall freaking pick, but they're gone. And the Islanders are here. So I think I just think this series is one of those things that is going to be great for the game and great for us fans to have a new rivalry again that completely refuels, because this Islanders team isn't going anywhere and the Flyers team isn't going anywhere. So you're going to have these teams, especially with a young goalie, that you're going to have battling Carter Hart soon coming to that Islanders team for years to come. This is going to be a fun rivalry to watch, and I think it's going to set the tone. When the first 10 minutes, I think there will be a fight in game one.
I see a very low-scoring game, low-scoring series, and I would like to say Philly. Let's we got to pick a pick here, right? So let's. What are you saying? Take your Philliness out of your head, our Philliness out of our head. Let's look at this from.
Wait a minute! I would be taking way too much out. I can't do that.
Okay. If you're not able to speak coherently in doing so, maybe try to keep a little bit in there. But as much as we possibly can, try to look at objectively and not from our heart. What do we say this series?
I already said Flyers 6 or other one, because this is going to be a tough battling series. We played the Islanders. You can't really look at the regular season games at all in this example. You really shouldn't, because it's been 3 months.
Regular season means nothing.
But even if it hasn't been 3 months, you really couldn't look at them in general, because it was before the Flyers got going. One was in October, the other was in November, and the next game was in February. Came back, and then we all of a sudden just let them score, and then they scored an empty net goal. So to make it 5-3 in that game. I don't know what's up with the Flyers, and I think this will be a low-scoring series. I agree with you, but at the same time, these two teams just love having something to 3 scores. It was 4-3, Islanders win. 5-3, Islanders win.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you're saying, but I think there's just something freaky with the hockey universe with these two.
When it comes to that,
I hope you're wrong, because my plan was to bet under every time.
But yeah, I don't know what's going on with these two teams. But anyway, the point is, I think this series is going to be a 5-on-5 series for the most part, because of what we said. I don't see these teams getting their power plays going against these 2 penalty kills if both of their power plays stink this playoffs. And they're going up against the Flyers PK, which is one of the best in the playoffs, and the Islanders PK, which is one of the best in the playoffs. So it doesn't spell well for, our PP is going to get going. It spells well for, both of our PKs are probably going to do great. And everyone's going to be like, wow, this is the least offensive power play minded series I've ever seen in my existence. Like, this has a chance to, this actually has a chance to be that, where we want the 5-on-5 play to be dominant and kind of, like I said in the video, forecheck oriented along the boards, because then it's still really exciting to watch. That if you win, you don't care how you win, because you watch exciting, aggressive play, even if you won 2-1, rather than winning a 2-1. Let's clear the puck deep. Let's always just let them shoot from the outside. There's different ways to win a game by 1 goal. So that's why I think this series will be winning in more exciting ways, in my opinion, but it's going to be very close still. And there might be some boring moments, because in the last 5 minutes, you're not going to be stupid if you're up 2-1. Eventually, you're going to drop back a bit and say, let them shoot to the outside, keep all these guys that only are good in front of the net to the outside, and let them try to shoot, which is not their biggest strength. They have a good
Yeah.
shot, but it's not their number one strength. So, like, I think this game has a chance to be the really exciting one because you're going to set a tempo, and then everything
Awesome.
kind of set, and then that might be when it gets more boring because then the teams will be like, "How do I?" That I think game one has the chance, and Jarif kind of hinted at that on his video too, as did I. I think it's just going to be one of those games that's really exciting until the teams, like I said, have the battle of wits, and the battle of wits is probably what would make it boring at times as they try to match each other.
That's a great point too. And we also, because we're the home team, we also have last change for the first two games. So
Yes.
that's also going to be part of it too. And I'll tell you what, to take my flyerdom out of it and everything else like that. I thought this could potentially go 7 games just because I think it's going to be a grind. Because I think Philadelphia is going to have to get clunked on the head a game or two in this series, just because I have that feeling. But I'm still calling Philadelphia all the way. I'm saying 6 or 7. Just because if one team gets hot, it could be done quickly. I also agree with what you said, Pro Joe. If this game comes out and it's a tone setter and we take it to them like we should, then I agree it's going to be a quick series. But that's what we're looking for. That's what we're hoping for. But if the Islanders catch Flyers in that kind of the way Montreal kind of caught us a little bit off guard, and we don't pick it up and we don't catch on, then I think we're going to be in trouble. But otherwise, I'm still calling Flyers.
Yeah. Well, I have another thing that could help with that. Scouting the refs. I don't know if anybody ever follows that account. It's an account on Twitter that tells you about all the different refs and who's good at their job and who isn't. But anyway, they said anytime, anywhere or 9-0, and I knew I always liked this guy. Anyway, this season under Wes McCauley, 6-0 in the regular season and 3-0 in the playoffs. He's got the game tonight.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so my final analysis on this is like I'm with you. Steel. If the Philly plays like they do in Montreal, it's over in 5. Islanders will whip their ass. Yeah. I'm going to be interested to see how this team reacts when the Islanders are everywhere they go, because that's exactly what the Islanders do. If you think Montreal did it, you haven't seen nothing yet. The Islanders know where you're going to be before you get there, and they're going to be there. And you have a choice. You can either dump it in, or you can slip back and try to readjust. But one of the things you can do is smack into them every time they do it. Every time they're in your face, you don't stop and you roll over the sons of bitches. To me, that's the way you beat the Islanders. When they want to get into where you are in your place, you don't stop. You just keep rolling over them. And that teams, I saw it all in the regular season. There were teams that did that. There were teams that said, okay, you know what? You're going to be in my face every time? Good. I'm going to knock you down. And it's really the only way to kind of beat it. Like teams like the Washington Capitals, they tried to change their system to change so they were more open, and they never beat the Islanders. There was other team, Florida Panthers, never had a chance. And the Islanders do have a team that can speed through it. They have a team that can go through it. In other words, let the puck go through the guy that's there, chase it, get it, and move on. So we'll see if that actually happens here. We'll see how they react when, like you said, if Montreal is able to do it and throw them off, what's going to happen when the Islanders do it?
Well, I would say the Islanders have a more through it. I think through it was a good word to use because they have striding players where their quick players are Beauvillier, Eberle, and the reason they added Pageau to add a third quicker player.
Right.
They have what I would describe as striding players that stride really well.
That's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah. Where the Canadians might have a
skaters.
few guys that are more of skaters, but not as skilled nearly as the guys on the Islanders. So that's why this is a great battle in this series, because you got guys that are going to try to run through you. So you're really going to get to see Sanheim, Myers, how those young guys step up. Hag is going to be big in this series with guys like that to
Yeah.
kind of push them
You're
back.
going to see Hag a lot. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I think that's a very good point because, these guys do try to kind of almost like football players sometimes, just clear and then go through you to get to the zone.
Hey, man, whatever works.
So I think that's going to be the biggest thing for me. I'm basing this on what I saw. I saw a Flyers team get better every game, but I never saw a Flyers team be as good as the Flyers can be. So if I'm going to say that they do sort of the same thing, but maybe at a higher level, I don't think we're ever going to see Game 2 Montreal Flyers. God forbid. I hope we never do. I think that was absolute disaster, and I don't think we'll ever see that again. I'm praying to the gods that never happens because that burnt my eyes. But we're going to see them do the same thing. I'm going to say 7 for now.
Okay.
I'm going to say 7 for now. I'm giving it to Carter Hart. I think it's going to be a very tight series, very hard-fought series, almost to the point where I'm a little, I don't know, we'll see what happens in the next round. But boys and girls, that's our full 42. That's the deep dive for today, getting into every angle and nook and cranny of what this series is all about. This is what we bring to you. This is the fine programming you get every time you hit the like button, which you're going to do. But every time you hit that button to see SteelFlyers, this is what you see. So, talking about SteelFlyers, what's the website? What's that fancy website that you got going on there, big guy?
Yeah, man. SteelFlyers.com. Come there and check out where the Professor Joe likes to hold class. You get the great pearls of wisdom right there. Links to all their sites, all their contacts, all their podcasts, all their great content. Check me out on Twitter, SteelFlyers52. We'd love to see you. Love to have you. You can also check me out on YouTube, Facebook. I'm all out there all over the place, but definitely come to SteelFlyers.com to check out these two professionals.
Yes, Joe, and you just mentioned you just did something similar on a what was that about?
I did a mini video like I try to do before each series on the Flyers nitty gritty, which is like key factors and then just some pump up stuff about the team. That's about 10 or 11 minutes long. It's on the Flyers nitty gritty YouTube. It'll be on the site soon as an article, a mini paragraph thing leading into it. But you can check that out, and also Overtime Heroics and Pub Sports Radio I do writing for, and Sports Fanatic News YouTube page that these fine gentlemen have been on a couple times. But it's been great talking about this series and all the great hockey. Stay tuned for more great videos we do on this wonderful playoffs.
Yes, that's our full 42, boys and girls. You can find me on SteelFlyers website. Just go over there. All my stuff is there. It's all you need. One-stop shop. Have a great day. Lots of love to you.
Enjoy the hockey.